When is the right time to hire and or seek the help and advice of an online coach or an online mentor? We're going to crack into that in today's episode of Client by Client. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, we got to focusing on what 3 things you must optimize in order to get more leads and more clients every day and week, to get clients consistently. As you grow your online business, you start to master the fundamentals, and then for some of you quickly move on, or you quickly want to. But in yesterday's episode, I make the case for why the fundamentals are the fundamentals and exactly which ones we need to revisit, upgrade, and optimize so that getting clients gets easier and becomes easier the longer you stay in your online business. Be sure to backtrack one episode to get the entire mental framework and everything involved. In today's episode, when's the right time to hire an online coach? When's the right time to seek the help of a mentor? I want to talk about 4 different situations that might be where you're at, or that might be a reason that you consider actually reaching out to that coach that you've been thinking about, or to actually ask the kind of questions that are going to help you get to the levels that you want in your online business. Let's start up at the top. The first right time to hire an online coach is when you aren't happy with your progress or your results. Maybe you thought that growing your online business would go a little bit faster. Maybe you've gotten steady results, but are really feeling like you've plateaued. This is where many of us can get too proud to ask for help. And for many of us, we're also the only person in our social circle, or at least in our families, that have gone this online business route. And just by taking that initial step, our families and our friends and our loved ones support and applaud us and almost make us feel like we've already arrived. And that can be dangerous, because while they're proud of you for having a different mindset and for trying to break the standard mold of the 9-to-5 and for seeking true personal freedom, that doesn't necessarily mean that the results are actually pouring in, or that you're creating the kind of living that you once really imagined as you made this commitment to online coaching. And so while it's great and it feels amazing to make your first $1,000 and to do it a couple months in a row, or your first $3,000 or $5,000 months, if that's where we wanted to be, it's going to be easier just to do that in a day job. And so while you are doing things outside of the norm, you're going to have more expenses. You're going to have more expenses than the average person. You're going to pay more taxes on that amount of money than the average person, which really just puts you back into the level of having a day job, or maybe even lower. And so if you aren't happy with your progress or results, or you're feeling like things have kind of plateaued and you're ready for that next level, then that's a great time to reach out and to seek the kind of help that you're desiring. And I'm not saying reach out to me, although I'd love to help you, and I'd love to selfishly be one of the reasons why you break through and become a success and become a trophy of sorts on my shelf of other case stories, success stories, and testimonials, successful students. But there are many other coaches that you might vibe with. And there might be other coaches that you've been pondering, thinking about. And what I just implore you, if you're at that stage, is to reach out for help and to explore what not getting their help or my help might be costing you. And what you might find is that the investment might be far less than what you're sacrificing already right now. The first reason it's the right time to hire an online coach is when you aren't happy with your progress or results, or you're kind of feeling like things have plateaued. The second reason is when you find yourself lacking clarity on exactly what to do, implement, or focus on next. We know together that there's an endless amount of shiny objects that we could implement, focus on, and attempt to bring to life in our online businesses. Whether or not they work is a whole different conversation. Whether or not it's the right next thing to do or focus on or implement is a whole different and also a higher level conversation. And I know from navigating my business alone and from navigating my help with the help of someone who has the business and life that I'm wanting, everything gets clearer when I have a roadmap, when it's not one that I've put together, and when I can see the mentor doing and is living out those things or has lived out those things. And I say that in not just the context of my business, I say that in context to my health and my wellness. And for many other areas that I have coaches and mentors or have invested in these different areas of my life in. And when we see another online coach that we look up to do something, like implement a webinar or launch a different style of offer or launch a podcast or launch a series on social media, it can be very easy to be inspired by that and to think that that's the right next thing for you to do. But the difference is that they're doing that from a perspective of making $30, $50, $100,000 a month and having teams and systems and a lot of cash to throw at things to get them going and working and not needing for them to work right out the gate. And where many of you listening right now are below $15K a month, and every dollar you're coming in matters at that stage. When you're in the startup stage, which is you might have been doing this for 10 years and barely cracking $15K a month. We're still in startup land. And it can be very easy, back to point number one, to get really proud of where you're at, but you have so much more to go, but we want to walk in bigger shoes that can just wind us up, which can just wind you up tripping over yourself. And so while webinars are effective and workshops are effective, and podcasts and live streams and all these things are effective to a degree, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right next thing for you to focus on in your online business. And focusing on the wrong thing, on any one thing, might not be the card in the house of cards that ends up making everything crumble, but it can be. And what I can promise you is when you do 2, 3, 5, 7 things out of order and that are not the right next stage for you, it's the really telltale sign of disaster and of pending catastrophe. And I know that from my own personal experience. I know that from working with hundreds of online coaches, if not thousands, over the last 10 years of my online business and in my online career. And it gets very easy to be having 7 or 8 projects up and going, but none of them are actually going to be the thing that drive results. And even if you get results initially, that initial validation, while it's validating, it might not be the sign that that's still the right next thing to do. And so the second reason for when's the right time to hire an online coach is when you find yourself daily waking up and not knowing what to do next. And just find yourself looking or trying to look and peek through the keyhole of other online businesses to see what they're doing for inspiration, or kind of navigating blindly. And you wake up thinking, okay, I'm going to do my content, but then you don't have any leads. And then you do your content and it comes out great, but then you still don't have any leads after you publish it. That's the time to seek some help. Third is when you've reached a milestone that you've been really wanting to hit. And if that's you, and maybe you've been really gearing hard to make your first 1,000 or your first 5,000 month a few months in a row, or maybe you've hit and cracked 15, 20, or 30K a month. First, I want to say congratulations, because I know how hard that can be when you're the one maybe doing it alone. Maybe you're doing it with an accountability buddy. Maybe you're doing it with the support of your loved ones. It doesn't make it necessarily any easier or any simpler. However, one of the things that Vince Del Monte always says that has always stood with me is that with new levels come new devils. And when you reach these new financial milestones, speaking financially, these new financial milestones, these are situations that are going to attract different sorts of thoughts into your life and into your mind. And you go from wanting to get the money to having the money to then immediately having thoughts of, how do I not lose this money? And those thoughts right there are the ones we have to be very careful of, is when we put ourselves in a situation of focusing on the chances that we lose it, or focus on the chances that maybe it was all luck, and focus in on the chances that it was just a one-off thing. And when we put ourselves in that vibration, and I've been there before, guys, I can only speak to this from experience and from hearing it from many of my students, these are all things that can keep us from getting to where we want to be. We all remember the old analogy, the age-old analogy of the fleas, right? And that you can put what they found in research and in studies, clinical trials, is that you can train a flea to only jump so high. Essentially, fleas can jump an exponential amount of their height in centimeters or something like that. And so let's say they're capable, I don't know the exact numbers, of jumping 3 feet. Well, you can train them to only jump 1 foot by putting them in a clear container or something that covers them up to that foot distance, and they'll hit their head on it and it will hurt. And that pain will teach them to not jump any higher. And they will never be able to reach that. Or when you think about an elephant and training an elephant, elephants are some of the most powerful and daunting animals on earth, as docile and gentle as they can look. But when you chain one to a tree or you chain one to a pole and you don't allow for it to have those freedoms and you put the shackles on it, eventually it's not going to go anywhere even without the shackles. It's going to just train itself about these imposed limitations. And that can be the same when you've never had a 10K month or you've never had a 15K month and you cross your first one. I remember when I hit my first 17.5K month, and the next year was me struggling to even hold on to money, let alone maintaining that. And so when you've recently hit new levels is the easiest time to take your foot off the pedal in your online business. You hit these new financial milestones, and it's easy to want to relax and want to take the girl or your significant other out on a date and to enjoy the fruits of your labor because you've been really hustling hard and holding on to every penny coming your way. But when you take your foot off of that pedal and you stop doing what got you there, it's the fastest way towards putting yourself back in the same situation you were in before you hit these financial milestones. With new levels come new devils. And so when you hit these new milestones, it's the hardest time to seek help, but I think it is the absolute best time and an absolute must time for you to seek some help from either a mentor or hiring an online coach. Fourth, lastly, and if you've gotten value up to this point in the episode, something broke through to you or key insight, or maybe a reminder of something that you already knew from the past, take a screenshot, share this on your story, and tag me at WhatUpJeremy. I'd love to return the favor by sharing you out on mine. And that's how this show grows, is by you loving it and, of course, wanting to share it out with others and getting so much value for it that you enjoy it that much. I hope that is the case. That is my goal. Lastly, thing number 4. For when's the right time to hire a coach is when you want the highest odds of reaching success in your online business or for any matter that's important to you in your life. When you have the help of someone who's already been there and done that, they will be able to move the unforeseen objects in front of you out of the way and to allow for you to know what you're coming up on. And because they'll hand you the map, and because they're ahead of you on the map, they can let you know and just clear that way. And when you have the supreme confidence of a mentor or a coach that believes in you, that believes in the route because it worked for them and it's working for their other students, and they know that you're no special cupcake, you're no special snowflake, and that you're able and that you're capable of many amazing things as well, these sorts of things can help you to break through those new levels. It's like having a spotter at the gym. It's like doing the trust fall in one of those leadership training camps or with the people that you trust and love the most. It's like having someone there to catch you when you fall, that when the thoughts of lack start coming in, they hold a mirror up and help you to adjust your mindset and adjust your focus onto what does matter and what really counts. And to almost put the bumpers up, and it's like a cheat code, right? It's like putting the bumpers in the bowling alley. It means that you're going to get to the end, your ball is going to make it to the end, and you're going to hit some pins, or you're at least not going to go in the gutter. And when you have that sort of confidence, when others have that confidence in you and you begin to grow and foster that confidence in yourself, you become capable of so much more amazing things. You become capable of reaching these milestones that you might not have thought were possible, that you might not have ever imagined crossing, or that you thought were there for you to accomplish and for you to conquer. And when you get someone around you who's already been there and you've already done that, when you think about the law of 5 or the sum of 5, right, you become like the people you spend the most time with. And when you average the revenue or the money made and the time and the thoughts and the every other metric of someone's life, when you calculate the 5 people around you, you're going to be the sum of those. You're going to be the average of those. And so by seeking out the help of a mentor who's already been there and done that and who's exceeded the levels that you're already at and is already there, you're going to be fine-tuning that sum of 5 and rigging it in your favor. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to share with you my 3 favorite ways to boost your confidence when it comes to sales and sales conversations and how to make that confidence boost quickly. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox where you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving a lot of money and clients on the table every single week and month? That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my pipeline and turn leads into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. To download your free copy now, just find me on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. Join hundreds of coaches from all over the world, all implementing my methods and strategies for starting and growing an online business and getting clients consistently. To join us in the Leverage Coach community and to get your free invitation now, just find me over on Instagram or wherever you're getting the show and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting some coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of $15K worth of new clients or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused business owner who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been working with clients for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients minimum every week or month organically without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or Facebook group. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, give that Instagram app a tap, and do a little search. Find me at WhatUpJeremy, binge on some content, on some reels, and give me a follow while you're there. And then I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business. That way I can understand it better. And I'll also ask you about your vision for the next 12 months. Then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students from all over the world in varying different niches to get clients consistently. And we'll also identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business and life the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. Happy Friday to my Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube watchers, and everyone else tuning in. On YouTube, tap one of the cards here. Be sure to hit subscribe and that notification bell so you can get these daily before these hit over the podcast stream. If you're watching on Facebook and want to take me with you while you're getting your steps in, washing the dishes, or just living your life and you want some helpful content for growing your online business, or maybe you just like my voice or my riz, who knows? Then be sure to head to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and search Client by Client and hit subscribe. And if you got value from this, again, just take a screenshot wherever you're getting this, post it on your story. I'd love to return the favor. And here's to a grand weekend. Follow up, make your follow-ups happen. If you haven't already, here's your friendly Friday follow-up reminder. And hope your week was great. And I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Peace.